Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to yet another spotlight interview with global thought leaders, an initiative by RightSource Global. I am Zishan Pathan, Executive Director at RightSource Global and a council member of Global Thought Leaders. Along with me, I have my colleague, friend, and a council member of Global Thought Leaders, Heval Mehta, Chief Growth Officer at RSG. Global Thought Leaders is a platform for industry stalwarts to cross-pollinate with their experiences, thoughts, ideas, and best practices to inspire each other and future leaders. Through spotlight interviews, we strive to bring the community of eminent personalities together from across the globe. We collate the multi-decadal learnings acquired by proliferating brains in a nutshell. We bring the expertise of various functions, roles, and sectors together on platform to inspire future leaders. We have one such industry stalwart today on the spotlight with us, Dr. Niranjan Hiranandani. Dr. Hiranandani is the doyen of the real estate and infrastructure industry. I would request Havel to introduce our today's eminent personality.
Well, the much awaited moment. Thank you so much, Zishan, for giving me this opportunity to introduce Dr. Hiranandani. Well, Dr. Niranjan Hiranandani is a co-founder and managing director, Hiranandani Group of companies. He also heads a distinct business unit, Hiranandani Communities. Dr. Hiranandani is the son of Padmabhushan honored ENT specialist, Dr. L H Hiranandani. He completed his schooling from Campion School, Mumbai, and graduated with a Bachelor of Commerce degree with a distinction of standing second in Mumbai University. Adding to his professional qualification, he completed his F.C.A. from the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India and completed his doctorate in philosophy, Housing Revolution in India Challenges and Prospects. He is known as Builder Extraordinaire, as the man responsible for changing the skyline of Mumbai with the delivery of landmark projects, Hiranandani Gardens, Powai. The Hiranandani Group pioneered the concept of developing mixed-use integrated township model with vibrant community living its reason of existence. The Hiranandani Group, under the astute leadership, set the benchmark in terms of quality construction, precision engineering, technology and innovation, timely delivery, and holistic development. The group has diversified into education, healthcare, hospitality, infrastructure, entertainment, and organized retail, displaying extraordinary qualities as developer, as also a perfectionist in terms of brilliance and untiring zest of excellence. The group has spread its footprints in the newer markets like Thane, Panvel, Alibaug, Khandala, Chennai, Ahmedabad, and Pune to sum up the current developments. The group has diversified portfolio in setting up a new business unit for data center and logistics and industrial parks. With a profound knowledge, sharp business acumen, and an ambitious attitude, he has been conferred with the leadership role across various prominent business organizations and chambers by industry pundits. Currently, he spearheads as the National President for National Real Estate Development Council, which works under the aegis of Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs, Government of India. Immediate past President of ASSOCHAM of Commerce and Industry Member, RERA, Conciliation Cell formed by Maharashtra Real Estate Regulatory Authority, India, Board of Directors of Unitech Limited. He has played a leadership and advisory senior position in various industry bodies. Some of his past achievements include drafting the state policy of slum rehabilitation in Mumbai, designed to improve the well-being of over 6 million slum inhabitants, currently acting as a trustee for the creation of Nathdwara Township as a heritage destination and acting as an advisor to the Government of India on housing and habitat policy for over a decade. From being a Forbes-listed top Indian rich real estate developer to co-founder of India's top real estate company, there is much more to add to his profile. The philanthropist profile unveils his social commitment as a responsible citizen of the nation. He is trustee of 14 colleges and 6 schools under Hyderabad Sindh National Collegiate Board and runs vocational skill development centers and provost of HSNC University, Mumbai. He is also trustee for 2 hospitals and 3 temples as part of his charity initiative. He is also an NEP 2020 Task Force Committee. Sincerity and commitment with consistent efforts is the recipe to achieve success and scale great heights, is the quote which very amply sums up Dr. Niranjan Hiranandani's magic mantra. We welcome Dr. Niranjan Hiranandani to the spotlight today.
Thank you very much. Thank you for the kind invitation and all the expletives that you have given to me. So grateful to you, sir.
Great to have you, Dr. Hiranandani. So your story inspired many in the country, right? I would say your journey is inspirational to everyone in the country in real estate and infrastructure. And there is a deep background and motivation behind it. You stood second in your batch in the Bachelor of Commerce, and you pursued F.C.A. from ICAI. So we really would want to know, Doctor, that what has driven or motivated you to enter into the real estate and infrastructure?
Thank you, Zishan, for the question. Basically, I come from a family, as Heval just mentioned, from a medical family. My father was a doctor, my elder brother was a doctor. Everybody in my family was professional or in service. So actually, deep down, I thought I would also, in the initial stages, be a professional. And I chose the commerce, and then incidentally, I got into the chartered accountant's qualification. But somewhere down the line in my commerce education, I realized that I would like and aspire to get into the business of business. But when I finished my BCom, I was persuaded by my father and his friend, Mr. Nani Palkiwala, that I should do a professional degree in terms of carrying this out. And before I really got into the business of business. So all these thoughts came, and somehow, in spite of the fact that I didn't want to do my chartered accountancy, I was persuaded by both of them to do it. And finally, I did. But at the back of the mind, I was always looking at the business world with admiration, not knowing the pitfalls that it really had, and got into it. We started actually a textile unit, a power loom unit in Chandivali, where we made grey cloth and actually gave it to Gwalior Rayon, Century Mills, and others. And that was how we started it. The real estate business was the second one. And having done that and got into the business of business, I lost money in both. So it was difficult. And we were borrowing money from banks, small amount of money, but it was important. And the real estate also was not doing too well, and couldn't decide which one to give up. One fine day, I got a notice from the union of my textile unit saying they wanted 100% increase in wages. You know, the arbitrage between textile mills and the small power loom units was huge. And that's how the power loom units actually survived. But in reality, they would have accepted even a 10% increase in wages. But somehow I had to take a decision. So I used that message from the union as a message from somebody above, and really stepped out of textiles, sold the unit, and then moved into real estate completely. So the moving into real estate, in spite of all the qualifications or all the destiny, was actually destined in quite a different sort of way. But then there was no looking back. After that, I had no alternative, because that was the line I chose, and ultimately worked on it till I could become and say that, all right, this is a good line for me to continue. And that's the rest of my life. I've been in the real estate as a business.
Right. So, Dr. Hiranandani, your multi-decadal experience is full of a roller coaster ride, right? So, what are the top 3 challenges you have come across, and how did you overcome them?
In reality, in the business of business world, there aren't only 3 challenges. There would be 3,000. Some would be small, some would be big, some would be different. The larger challenges are, of course, when you realize that the external circumstances and environment is changing, and you have to modify yourself completely in order to do it. Or you're in the comfort zone in doing the way you want to work, and you suddenly realize that the opportunity is in something quite different than what you have been working on all these years. So there have been many times in my life where I wanted to, let's say, scale my thing because I was in the small business and I took a leap in the dark. And reality, it was a very fearful time because in those days, with no real background in the business world in terms of family backing or otherwise, and I was not really into the MBA world. I was being a chartered accountant. So I think the decision making in terms of what one needs to do in the real estate field was quite challenging. The number two challenge was really the fact that real estate was not a credible business. We had people like Haji Mastan, Yusuf Patel, Dawood actually getting into the business of real estate. So good people were not in real estate, or I mean, not many good people were in real estate, but I would say many bad people were in real estate. And that's why it carried a very bad name. And at that point of time, I realized that if I wanted to build credibility for myself, I would see that the industry credibility came. So I got into and created large number of organizations. I was responsible for the Maharashtra Chamber of Housing Industry creation. I also was instrumental in creating CREDAI and then finally Naredco. All three organizations, I was part of the founding group that really started these organizations. And over a period of time, working personally on it, as well as doing a lot of work through the associations, a lot of credibility was built in by good practices and ethical work that our company did, and also many other people in the industry do. Once credibility was obtained, I think many good other people came in. So you have corporates, whether it's Tata Housing or it is Godrej, or it was at that time Great Eastern, and other companies which otherwise had good credibility also came into the real estate field. So the turnaround from an uncredible business to a credible business and credible company was a big turnaround in those days. And it was very, very, very challenging. The third important change was the fact that real estate is an industry which is not just about setting it up once. You set it up, you make a successful project, you complete it, you have sold it, and then you move on and you start from square one, going into the buying of the land, getting the approvals, going ahead to make a strategy for it, marketing it, then building it, selling it, and then again moving to the next one. So these are the type of things. It's not like an industry, once you set it up, then it's more or less option. You may have a cyclical up and down, but the business or the factory or industry is set up. So I think in all these factors, I would say challenging times always comes. And of course, the last is also the fact that the cyclical nature of real estate is very challenging. And especially in the last couple of years, post demonetization, I think a large number of companies have gone under. So we have had to work very hard in order to see that our business and industry should not only be doing well, but also should be credible and ethical in the public domain. And I think that was extremely important for us to see. So I think in the business world, you go through ups and downs and changes which take place. But I think if you have your mind clear and others and look at the right opportunities and leadership in the line, I'm sure that we can all build up credible businesses. And we have, and the industry has many, many more credible people now than there was when I started the business of real estate. So I think those were the challenges or the major challenges that I have. But rightly, as I said, there are thousands of challenges.
I'm really enjoying this conversation, Dr. Hiranandani. And, I must acknowledge that these are amazing insights that you have given about the industry. Well, various times we have interacted and I've seen, and I preferably, I know that, your personality as such, right? But we would really want to know, and all the viewers on the call would really want to know, what are the key traits of your personality you imbibed and nurtured over years that you believe have added to your growth?
I'm a learner. I'm a good learner. I constantly want to learn new things, whether it's in construction, development, infrastructure, ideas in terms of sale, marketing, all the aspects of it. So every aspect of the business, I'm a constant learner. And I love finding out things that I don't know and what other people are using as best practices, whether internationally, nationally, within our country or outside. Innovative methods of improving on the product itself. So we continuously, are innovating products and seeing to it. And we do believe that we should provide the best to our customers in terms of the product. So when I started a project at Powai, and I was brought up in a place called Malabar Hill in Mumbai, which was premium, where my father brought me up. It was considered the top end of town at that point of time. And when we took up Powai, it was there in my mind that everything that I make in Powai should be better than Malabar Hill. So the buildings that I make in Powai should be better than the buildings in Malabar Hill. The hospital my father practiced in, Bridge Candy, Bombay Hospital, and Jaslob, I promised myself that the hospital we made in the name of my father, Dr.L H Hiranandani, should be better than any of the hospitals that he practiced in. And also the school that we made should be better than the school I studied in, which was a very good school and still is a very good school in South Mumbai, Campion School. So we built the Hiranandani Foundation School, a better school than what I studied in. So the idea was basically to see how we can possibly continue to make improvements in whatever work that we are doing in terms of the type of work that we did. So I think that's the basic criteria that we thought that we should give others better than what I had for myself. So it's always an aspiration that how can I give to others better than what I have had during my lifetime and stuff. So that's what my product is all about. What's the other thing? I would say that I think I always look, many people ask me, who's the competition and that you look at in the real estate business. And believe you me, I'm a learner from others. So I don't treat other people as competition. I look at them as mentors or people who can give me better ideas than I have in terms of it. But the biggest competition to Niranjan Hiranandani is the Niranjan Hiranandani of yesterday. So whatever I did yesterday, can I do a better tomorrow or better today, so to say, than what I did yesterday in terms of construction, development, marketing practices, or whatever, or whether in the social endeavor, in my schools, colleges, hospitals, all the other social activities or association, can I do better than what we did before? So I think that's an attitude that I think has served me well over there. And I think all these ideas and thoughts have, of course, come up over a period of time, and but have served me well in terms of really doing better all the time and actually being able to serve society in a much better way, ethical way, and way by which people will remember me, hopefully, in the future.
Well, I must acknowledge that, Dr. Hiranandani, that the work that you have done clearly resonates your personality. And as you've rightly mentioned, that you have been doing things better than yesterday, and which is what is clearly seen and visible in every work that you have done so far. Right. So, so how do you see the future of real estate and infrastructure evolving in India? With the advent of the cutting edge technologies like artificial intelligence. Furthermore, the artificial intelligence adoption curve in India remains low as compared to the Western world. How do you think this ratio of adoption can be improved?
Well, India is advancing much faster now than it used to do earlier. So we do hope that things will be much, much better. Things have changed a lot in the last 10, 15 years, even in the construction technologies. Partly has been thrust on us. So for example, we are not able to get skilled labor So we use a lot of new shuttering materials and others, which absolutely assist us in using lower labor strength in order to achieve the same product thing. We have a lot of new materials which help us to give quality and improve further the quality in terms of what we are producing. Waterproofing materials, finishes which are there are quite advanced. Methodologies of doing faster construction, better quality construction, using project management techniques and technologies in order to do better. Design technologies which are much improved, cost efficient and speedier to do that, looking much better in terms of finishes. So all these things definitely are better. On the marketing side too, a lot of technology is utilized, whether it's digital, whether it is marketing through social media, or using artificial intelligence in order to assess what is the type of clientele that would be attracted to our projects. A constant study of all these things have made a world of a difference in terms of improving it. So, as I told you before, we have to be constantly improving and constantly moving in order to do. If we don't move ahead, it will not be there. India is, of course, on the forefront of technology. I mean, companies like TCS, Infosys, and others lead the entire world in technology. There's no reason why we cannot lead in the real estate business in terms of design, in terms of workmanship, in terms of efficiency, in terms of other things. So I am very certain that whatever we have done in the past, which is quite a lot in the last couple of years, you will see that the next couple of years is going to be even faster. And those who don't learn to imbibe new ideas and technologies will get left behind in the real estate or any other business for that matter. And I think you're absolutely right, Zian, that you will see this improvement taking place constantly. And hopefully the Prime Minister's objective of making housing for all will be achieved. We are also looking at policies in terms of tenancy laws to be changed. So rental housing to be further propagated. All these policy measures we have been working on through our organizations like Naretco and others. So all this is a positive angle in terms of what the future is going to be, which is going to be bright, using technology in a bigger and bigger way over a period of time.
Great. Which brings me logically to another question, Doctor. Hiranandani Group has diversified into fields of education, healthcare, hospitality, infrastructure, entertainment, and organized retail. You have taken recent initiatives to for digital transformation through investments in high-end, cutting-edge technologies like data centers, services, IT management, IT security, and cloud. What really motivated you to take this initiative?
To be honest, it was my son. So I can share that credit on the new businesses with him. We have 3 new businesses. Yotta, which is the data center business, is a prime one, which actually put up the Asia's largest tier 4, which is the highest rating for data centers in Navi Mumbai, Panvel. So that's the first one. The second one is gas pipelines of the first floating LNG terminal in India. And the third is the warehousing and industrial platform, which is a joint venture partnership with Blackstone. So these are 3 new businesses which we have done in the last couple of years, last 5-7 years, some as recently as last 1 year. But all these things initiated by my son. And so in the real estate business, I'm in the new businesses, Darshan takes the lead and I support him. And in the real estate business, I'm his bab.
Great. I must definitely acknowledge with that. Great. So, Dr. Hiranandani, there is an interesting question, and that would really be of an interest of various individuals who are the budding entrepreneurs or who are the future thought leaders. So aspiring future thought leaders would like to learn from the mistakes. Could you share some mistakes that future thought leaders must avoid aligning their goals better?
Do you have 5 hours of interview? Do you have 5 hours that I can speak about all the mistakes and all the pitfalls that come into the business world? Anybody who does any business, whether it is small or big, is bound to have pitfalls. Some are smaller mistakes, which are easily rectifiable. Some are bigger ones. So it's a question of it. And you have to take leaps when you're growing organization. You have to constantly take leaps in the dark. And there is no organization in the world who over a period of time has not made mistakes. We have too. We have chosen some projects which have not actually been successful. We have seen that we have experimented with new innovative products in construction which have not succeeded. But we have never defaulted in not trying out new things and opportunities. So we constantly try, and hence over a period of time, while 5 people will do 50, while 5 people will do 20 jobs, I will do 250 jobs. So I will make maybe 50 big mistakes, but I would have made 200 successful ones. So it's a question of a constant, let's say, imperative that if you continue to do lots of things, you'll make lots and lots of mistakes. And if you do too many things, you'll have lots and lots of successes. So over a period of time, you have to balance the two and see to it that you have more successes than failures. But any person who is in the business world over a period of time, who says to you that they have not made mistakes, have not failed, is a liar. So, you don't believe that at all. Now, how do you really, rectify it? I mean, different issues and different problems over a period, different periods of time will require different methods in order to do that. In terms of cutting the loss, moving forward, getting new innovative products, using the land for a different matter if a particular line of business is actually not working in that location. So all these things you keep on trying in terms of it. Markets change, laws change, RERA came in. So you're required to escrow 70% of your money in the project into separate accounts to be used only for those businesses. And you can't transfer it to your other accounts. All these require changes to be done. And those are not mistakes, but the environment changes require you to correct the path that you are taking. And though in the external world, that is a mistake, it's not. It's something which you have chosen, but the external world environment has changed. 2008, we had the Lehman crisis, so we had to accommodate and change our practices and working system. Post-RERA, we needed to make a change. Once the NBFC's crisis of ILFS took place, we needed to change the methodology of funding and finance as an industry. We didn't take it, but the industry had to take it. So all in all, the problem is the mistakes could be internal because you took a long decision, or it could be external, where the environment puts it in such a way that you're deemed to have made a mistake. Both these things have to be rectified and corrected as quickly as possible after you recognize that the environment has changed or the mistake has happened. But you're bound to make mistakes. If you do a lot of work, you'll get lots of mistakes.
Well, I'm sure these are great learnings for all the viewers of this conversation today. Dr. Hiranandani, we have been building this community of global thought leaders for cross-pollination of knowledge. What are your thoughts about this initiative?
I do believe that the learning process is perennial. You can't stop learning at any point of time in your life. If you do, then that is the time where you are going downwards. So you have to do it. I'll give you a story. My father, Padmabhushan, Dr.L H Hiranandani, at the age 82, once told me at 6:30 in the morning when we were having tea together that he wants to go to Germany to learn a new operation. My father was, of course, a renowned ENT surgeon all over the world. And I was shocked. I said, Dad, what's wrong with you? Why do you want to go at the age of 82? So he said, why should I stop learning? And now's the right time to learn. So then I asked him, who's the doctor from whom you're learning? So he said, Dr. Plester in Germany. So I said, oh, isn't he the same doctor who had come to learn from you 6 years ago, to learn an operation from you, which you had created and learned? So he said, yes, yes, you remember him? We had all gone for dinner to Wellington Club in the evening after that. So I said, yes, I do remember him. And very faintly, but I do. And he went to Germany to learn this new operation at age 82. So the part is that you have to be constantly a learner in order to be, do it. And things are changing so much faster now that now it's all the more imperative to be learner. But accessibility to data, information, knowledge, learning processes is much easier because of the internet.
That was an amazing session, I would say, with Dr. Hiranandani. To all our viewers, rightly what we say in Spotlight is lot to learn for all our inspirational leaders today. When Dr. Hiranandani started saying that I am a good learner, and a competitor of Dr. Niranjan Hiranandani is yesterday's Dr. Niranjan Hiranandani. I really like that line, and trust me, I will be implementing that right from today, I would say, because it will definitely change my life, my career goals, and trust me, for all of you. People really love to do new things, but they have that fear of making mistakes. One very important message by Dr. Hiranandani is that identify your mistake and rectify it immediately and move towards the success. A lot of things to learn from today's session. We really thank Dr. Niranjan Hiranandani for his valuable time today, and really an inspirational story. Thank you so much, Doctor, for your time and sharing the insights with us. It will really mean a lot to us as well as the future leader. Thank you once again from the entire family of RSG.
Thank you, and I wish you all the best too.
Thank you.